What's up guys, Spencer Rhodes here, and this is my theory video for Fear the Walking Dead for the character Troy Otto. How long will Troy live on Fear the Walking Dead? Okay, so this is a tricky one because the 12th episode of this season, Season 3, just aired a few days ago, and Jake died. His brother died, so that was kind of a shocker because I was honestly expecting Jake to be the surviving Otto, because there's 3 Ottos in this season and Jeremiah is long dead. I figured 2 of them would die, one of them would make it to season 4, maybe even season 5, and I figured that character would be Jake because he's kind of the good guy. He's, you know, he has a relationship with Alicia. He's one of the more likable characters in the ranch. So I was kind of shocked that he died, but at the same time I'm kind of happy because I like Troy a lot more than Jake. A lot more. I just think he's unpredictable, he's crazy, he's kind of like the Joker. I think the actor does a good job portraying him. We've never had a character like this on either show. He kind of reminds me of Shane, but he's a lot more interesting than Shane. I want to spend a lot more time with him than we spent with Shane. In fact, Troy is my favorite villain in The Walking Dead. And, you know, he's definitely a bad guy. He's definitely a guy doing bad shit, but he's interesting. And god damn it, if everyone can like Negan, even though Negan does bad shit, then I can like Troy, even though Troy does bad shit. But, it's kind of interesting because I really figured that Troy would die and then Jake would live longer than Troy. Then Jake would maybe die in season 4 or season 5. But Jake is gone, and we're in this situation where, okay, Jake is with Nick. They're going to try to save the survivors of the ranch and stop the walkers somehow. We see them in the inside of a helicopter. I don't know what that's going to lead to, but it's possible that Troy could die in the next episode. In fact, there's probably a good chance, but I would like to see him survive just because they've got this sort of interesting storyline going on, because Troy was like self-destructive. He has this whole Darwinism theory of just like this survival of the fittest will survive. That's why he unleashed all these walkers on the ranch, or led the herd of walkers to the ranch, because for one thing he just doesn't give a shit. For another thing, you know, he hasn't slept in days and he's starving and he's dehydrated. And for another thing, you know, he just, all he cares about at this point is his brother. And maybe Nick. He wants to keep those 2 people alive. That's why he tries to warn them and talk to them about what's about to happen. He could have just walked away and let the ranch get destroyed, but he goes through the trouble of going to the ranch and telling Nick and Jake what's about to happen. He wants to die. He embraces death. He does not care. But he did not expect to get Jake killed. He did not expect Jake to get killed as a result of his actions. I don't think he wanted Jake to die at all. But now Jake is dead because of what Troy did. So Troy has that guilt. And Troy told Nick to kill him. And Nick just kicked the gun to Troy and told him to do it himself. And then Troy did not kill himself. So Troy asked what to do, and Nick says, "We're going to save the people that you tried to kill." So we know that the last thing that Troy gave a shit about is gone. And, you know, as crazy as he is, you know, he likes killing people, experimenting, torturing animals, you know, just fucking around with walkers. Now that he's caused his brother to die, he might still want to do the right thing. He might still want to save the people. And even though he caused this whole thing in the first place, he wants to try to make it right, at least a little bit. We know from the preview of next episode that Troy is going to try to save the survivors. He might change his mind. He might not give a shit. He might heroically sacrifice himself to save Nick. That's a good possibility. But we know that Troy is at least going to try. Now, I have a theory that Troy might survive the rest of the season. Because, I mean, I just felt like, for the 3 Ottos, at least one of them would make it. At least one of them would make it out alive. And it's interesting because there was an interview with the actor that played Jake, and he said that the writers knew that either Jake or Troy would die, but they didn't know which one would die. And they actually chose Jake. So there's a possibility Jake would outlive Troy. That's why I kind of had that feeling. That's why it was kind of strange to me. I think that might have been on the cards early on, but Troy kind of turned into a really well-received character. Maybe not with audiences because they didn't know yet, but maybe the writers liked him. So I'm thinking that's why the character's still alive, because he just worked so well when they were filming. So I think it is possible that Troy could survive the next 4 episodes. And if he survives the next 4 episodes, he makes it to season 4. That's all he has to do. And his brother just died. So it's possible that they might not kill any more main characters this season. Now that Jake's dead, they might save the rest for season 4, season 5. You gotta save someone. So I think that it's very possible that Jake could survive. Now, this is my theory on what could happen. Maybe Troy and Nick save the ranch. They save the survivors. And Nick tells everyone, Troy was, he didn't cause this. He actually saw the herd and he warned us. That's why he came back. So Nick and Troy basically have to have this lie, that Troy did not actually cause people to die, that Troy actually helped them. And for one thing, that kind of makes for some interesting television, because if Nick does this for Troy, Nick has to lie to Alicia. Nick can't tell Alicia the truth. She'll kill Troy. He can't tell Madison. Madison will kill Troy. He can't tell anyone. Nick and Troy have to live with the secret that Troy actually caused the destruction of the ranch and the deaths of Jake and Cooper and many other people. They have to keep this secret. And Troy, with his sort of self-destructive, bad guy, good guy, wavering nature, he's going to have some fun with it. He's going to be messed up about it. And that should make for some interesting television if that's what the writers decide to go with. Now, the reason that Nick would lie is because he does sort of have this twisted bond with Troy. Like, they're both kind of alike and they're both kind of self-destructive and crazy. I think that's why Nick has tried so hard to keep Troy alive. He could have let Jake kill him. He probably should have let Jake kill him because Jake just got killed anyway, So basically Nick caused Jake to die by hitting him in the face with a gun. Nick tried that hard to keep Troy alive. So I think it is possible that Nick lies about what happened. He says that Troy actually did the right thing and warned them and came back, and he had nothing to do with actually causing it to happen, and that Troy could be invited back to the group due to his brother's death and everyone being sympathetic. It's it's a hard sell, but it's possible, and it would be a way to keep Troy in the group, because I don't want to see Troy on his own again. I don't want to see Troy get exiled again. We saw that. We saw what happened. Let's sing a new song. Let's not kill him off, but let's find a way to keep him in the group, because Troy can be in the group. He's been in the group. He just kind of goes back and forth between doing bad things, doing good things. And maybe, just maybe, this could be Troy's wake-up call. Even though he's kind of a psychopath and he's kind of fucked up in the head, this could be when he really starts to sort of fight his inner self, and he tries to really start to attempt to do the right thing and be a good person. And I'm not saying he'll succeed. He probably would not. He would probably end up becoming a bad guy again. But it would be an interesting way to continue his story and to keep him around for season 4. Personally, I like the character. He's one of my favorites in both shows right now. I'm really happy that he at least outlived his brother, who I thought was kind of bland as hell. I would like to see Troy make it to season 5. I would, if I was the writer, I would probably kill Troy off somewhere in season 5. But that's probably not going to happen at the rate they're going. Troy is just too crazy, too self-destructive, too much of a villain. He's gonna get other people killed eventually. I would like to see him try to redeem himself, try to struggle, go back and forth. I'd like to see the actor portray that. I'd like to see his relationship with Madison and Nick continue to evolve. You know, I'd like to see him, you know, have interaction with Daniel Salazar and Ophelia and Strand. I would like to see these interactions in season 4. Now, I think since there's only 4 episodes left, and they're kind of setting up this possible redemption story arc for Troy, there is a good chance that Troy will make it to season 4. But realistically, that's probably about it. He could die in the first episode of season 4. He could die in the second episode of season 4. The third episode, I'd say early on, he'll die in season 4. He'll make it to season 4, but he'll die early on. I would like Troy to make it to season 5, but realistically, he will die early on in season 4. And I'm not sure if he will redeem himself. He probably would not, but I would like to see him have this kind of the struggle to redeem himself, the struggle for redemption after losing his brother by basically his own cause. I think that would be interesting to see the character do. I think the actor would do a good job, and it would just be a good way to keep Troy around longer and keep him in the group. So basically, he will die early on in season 4, but I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that he makes it to season 5. Anyway, that's my theory video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please click like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I look forward to expanding this community of people. But yeah, that's about it. I'm Spencer Rhodes. I'll see you guys later. Bye.